Hi guys, welcome to another day tips live. We've just gone live, so hoping you guys can hear me and see me okay. So as the title and the thumbnail suggested this video, I'm going to be speaking about paid traffic, which is something that I speak about a lot on this channel, but we're going to kind of delve into it in a lot more detail in this live. So hopefully I can help some of you guys out who are running paid traffic. Wahid is saying, I cannot see you live. I've just gone live, so hopefully you can see me now and hear me now okay. But if you can't see or hear, just let me know, and I will do my best to try and fix whatever audio problems there might be. So first and foremost, I wanted to kind of like give an overview of the type of things that I wanted to cover in this live. I wanted to speak about Google ads. I wanted to speak about Facebook ads, and I also wanted to speak about influencer marketing. So those are the three kind of main traffic sources, or paid traffic sources anyway, that are really generating results for myself and my clients as well. Some of the clients that I've been working with. Wahid is saying, I can see you, Sam, now. Thanks, great, awesome. So yeah, so some of the paid traffic sources that have been really working well for myself, for some of my clients, have been Google ads, Facebook ads, and influencer marketing. But I also want to, the reason why I wanted to do this one live instead of just putting out a normal video like I usually do, is because I wanted to give you guys an opportunity as well to ask any questions live. So anything you might be struggling with regards to like your paid traffic campaigns, then just let me know. I do have a couple of notes here to forget. So if you see me reaching down either for my water or looking at my notes, don't be alarmed. Just making sure that I'm not missing anything off. So yeah, if there's any questions, please do leave them in the chat. I'm going to be interacting with you guys as much as possible. Those of you who are joining live, if you know anyone who will benefit from this, if they're trying to drive traffic to their websites using paid traffic, then make sure you share this link as well. So yeah, so first and foremost, let's talk about like the differences between Google ads and Facebook ads and influencer marketing. So obviously Google ads are the ads that are shown when someone types in a specific query in Google. You go to Google, you type in tennis shoes, and then you see the natural search results, but you also see some paid advertisements as well. So these paid ads, people are bidding to actually show their advertisement there. And then you have Facebook ads, which is more of an interruption marketing kind of method. So when someone goes onto Google, when we go onto Google, we're actively searching for something. We're searching for a product, we're searching for a service, we're searching for information. So if someone is serving us up an ad, then it's kind of in relation to what we were searching for. So we're not alarmed to see those advertisements, if that makes sense. And that's one of the reasons why Google ads technically should convert at a higher percentage than something like Facebook ads, which is more interruption. We don't go onto Facebook or Instagram to look for ads, basically. We go on Facebook and Instagram probably to send a message to our friends or to look at memes or whatever it is we're going on those platforms to do. So as a result, with our Facebook and Instagram ads, we have to interrupt the thought process of the person who we are targeting, if that makes sense. Also, another thing to mention here, because I kind of glossed over it a little bit, Facebook own Instagram. So you can actually run your Facebook and Instagram ads in one place. That's the Facebook ads manager. A lot of people get confused when I kind of interchangeably talk about Facebook and Instagram ads. That's because they are very similar. You can run them both through your Facebook ads manager. And there's a big difference between like boosting a post and running your ads through the Facebook ads manager. If you boost a post, then you don't get the analytical data. You don't get to, edit your campaigns and have as much control over your campaigns if you were using something like the Facebook ads manager. So Wahid is saying, I am an eBay seller if I put my ads on Google. So that's a good question. I don't recommend running Google ads to pages that you don't control. So with your eBay store, I wouldn't recommend running any kind of paid traffic ads to those web pages. I would much prefer to run adverts, paid adverts to your own e-commerce website. So if you were setting up your own Shopify store or your own WooCommerce store or whatnot, then you can create pages that you can optimize to send paid traffic to. But I would highly discourage you from sending paid traffic to Google, to your eBay accounts, or to any accounts where you don't manage the page itself, because you have no control over the landing page, and also you're paying for traffic to another person's website. You don't own Google, you don't own eBay. So if you're paying for traffic to eBay, someone might click on your link. Let's say, for example, you're selling this mug of Cuppativity. Let's say you're selling this mug and you advertise on Facebook, and someone clicks through and they click to your eBay account. Now they might not buy your mug, but they might go onto another mug and buy that. So now you've just spent money to advertise to someone, and they've gone and bought another person's mug on eBay. Whereas if you're advertising your own website, what that means is, if someone clicks onto your advert and they see your mug and they don't want that specific one, they go onto another page on your site and they buy something else. So they've bought something else, but at least they've bought it from you. So I highly discourage you, from selling or advertising with paid ads on platforms like eBay or Amazon or any platform like Depop or something like that. Don't do paid advertisements, on a large scale. Now, that being said, there are sometimes internal ways of advertising. So, for example, for a lot of Etsy sellers, I've seen a lot of people having success when they pay for Etsy ads. So that's specific to kind of like boost your post within the app. So people who are searching for a product on Etsy, they will be more likely to see your ad. Now, those kinds of paid advertisements can work better when you're kind of dealing with third-party e-commerce. So Wahid is saying, Google ads, can they really help? Yes or no? Yes, they can help. It depends on how you utilize them. So yeah, they definitely can help, but you just need to make sure you're doing it in the right place. So yeah, kind of moving on slightly, I wanted to talk about like Google ads and some of the things that you want to keep in mind with regards to like basically running Google ads. First and foremost, keyword intent. This is where a lot of people go wrong with Google ads. Like, you don't necessarily just want to be advertising on any keyword that you think might be relevant to your business, because at the end of the day, you're going to be paying for those clicks. So you want to think about what is the intent behind a particular search term, behind a particular search query before you start bidding on that keyword. So for example, if you are a yoga instructor, if someone is typing, if you're a yoga instructor and you want to promote your yoga instructor business, you want to target keywords of people who are wanting to actually invest in a yoga teacher or a yoga instructor. So these might be keywords such as, yoga instructor in London, or if you're based in London, or your best yoga instructors, or how to find a yoga instructor. Those kind of questions might be more geared towards what you're trying to do. Now, if you're if you're paying for keywords like yoga tips, or should I get involved in yoga, or those kind of keywords that are a little bit more vague and that they don't directly suggest buying intent, then that can actually impede upon how well in which your Google ads convert for you. So hopefully that makes sense. You really want to not just think about what keywords you're ranking for, but what is the intent behind someone actually searching for those keywords? Is the intention to buy your product, or are they looking just for information, or are they looking for something else? If they're looking for a yoga mat, for example, and then your yoga instructor advert is showing up, then that's not very, very relevant. It's going to impact your relevancy score in Google. You're probably going to get less clicks on that ad, which can impact how well your overall ads perform on Google. So make sure you're choosing relevant keywords with the right search intent. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you guys. Now, this kind of leads me on to my next point, which is match types. Some of you guys may, if you've run Google ads before, you may have kind of heard of this term match types before. Basically, there's different types of keywords when advertising on Google. So first and foremost, you kind of have what's known as like, well, you have your exact match keywords. So exact match keywords are kind of like when you kind of know, okay, I want Google to target people who are searching this term exactly, or very similar terms to this term exactly. You also have phrase match as well, which is kind of like, it's less exact than your exact match keywords. So you kind of want to figure out like, what is the best, what's the best match type to go for? Should you go for an exact match? Do you know exactly what your potential customers are typing into the search engines? Or do you not know yet? Are you kind of uncertain with what match type with what keywords your potential customers are going to be searching in? So you need to think about, are you going to go for phrase match? Are you going to go for exact match? You could, excuse me, you can also use negative keywords as well. So if there's keywords that you don't want to show up for in Google, then you can use what's known as negative keywords, and that will ensure that you don't show up for those particular keywords as well. So what I tend to do with my campaigns, and what I tend to do with what I suggest with some of my clients' campaigns as well, is we go for broad match keywords at first. So broad match keywords, you don't add anything to those keywords. If you type in a keyword when you're creating your Google ads for Google, automatically they will be broad match keywords, which kind of just, it says it on the tin, it's very broad. You might, for example, be bidding on a keyword for mug, and you might show up for loads of different keywords that are not even necessarily directly related to mug. But the reason why I kind of go broad first and foremost is because it kind of allows you, if you've got your analytics attached, then it kind of allows you to see what keywords are getting clicks, what keywords are getting you conversions, what keywords are costing you money, and what keywords are making you money. So you might want to start off broad, or even phrase match. Phrase match is a little less broad than broad match. But if you start off broad, then you can kind of, you might get a keyword converting for you that you didn't even think about. It wasn't even in your arsenal. It wasn't even in your thought process, but that keyword is driving you clicks and is driving you conversions. So normally how I suggest doing it is going broad, then maybe going phrase match. And then once you start getting some clicks through, once you start getting some conversions, Google will actually tell you what keywords are converting for you into sales. And then you can obviously pause all of the keywords that are costing you money and not generating you any conversions, and put more money into the keywords that are actually driving you conversions. And then that's kind of how you optimize your Google ad campaigns. So you want to make sure, if you're running Google ads, I highly recommend getting a Google Tag Manager account. So with your Google Tag Manager account, it kind of allows you to easily like set up all of your conversion tracking. You can track all of your clicks that are coming to your website. You can see what keywords are bringing in sales, and so on and so forth. And that will help you to kind of make your Google ad campaigns a lot more profitable as you tweak, looking at your analytics and kind of like just gauging and seeing what keywords are working for you and what keywords are costing you money. So I'm hoping that kind of makes sense to you guys. I will be putting out kind of more videos in the future on this channel about, the Google Tag Manager. I'm going to be doing tutorials on Google ads and how to set up your first Google ads and how to set up conversion tracking and so on and so forth. I'm going to be doing tutorials on, what is phrase match, what is exact match, what is broad match, how to add negative keywords to your Google ads campaigns, and so on and so forth. But I kind of wanted to do this live first, so that when those videos come out, hopefully it makes more sense to you and it can help you along the way with starting profitable Google ad campaigns. So another thing that you want to keep in mind with Google ads is your quality score. So with Google ads, obviously they have a high reputation. They want to make sure that they are serving up ads that are relevant to what people are searching for. So you want to make sure that, again, your landing page, so your landing page is the page that people land on after they click on your advert. So you want to make sure that when people click on your advert, they land on a page that is highly relevant to whatever keyword they were searching. So if someone is searching for positivity mug, then you need to make sure they're landing on a page that sells your positivity mug, or a page that is about your positivity mug. Now, if they're not landing on that page, and it's a page that's not relevant, or they have to, or you're sending people to your homepage and they have to navigate through your whole website to find this positivity mug that they search Google for, not only is that likely to lower your conversion rate, because people are having to fumble around your website to find what they need. Most people are just going to bounce off your website, but also that bounce rate is likely to have a negative effect on your quality score. And your quality score is important because when it comes to bidding in Google, it's not just about how much money you bid. So Google is not necessarily just about whoever bids the most for a particular keyword will get first place rankings. It's not necessarily that. Yes, how much you bid definitely has a part to play in it. But if you're bidding a lot of money on a keyword, but your ads are not relevant, then that will impact your quality score. And even though you might be bidding more money, someone who's bidding less money might show up higher than you, and your ads might not show up at all if you're not getting a good click-through rate, if your ads are not what they said they should be, kind of thing. Now, that being said, when you do go about creating your first Google ad, you will notice that you can actually create multiple headlines and multiple descriptions for your Google ads. So this allows Google to automatically split test your ad creative. So your creative is basically whatever people see, whatever advert people see before they make the decision to click on your ad. So for example, you go to Google and you type in mug, and the ad, you will see, like in Google, obviously you'll see a title, you'll see a little description, you might see a little destination URL. That's, as an ad, that is the person's creative. So you can actually create multiple headlines and multiple descriptions when you're creating your Google ad campaigns. And I highly recommend you do this as well, because what Google will do is they will automatically kind of show your ad with different variations to different people. So say you run traffic to like 1,000 people, then after those 1,000 people have seen your ad, so on and so forth, Google can determine what is the most engaging combination of your title and description. And then that is a way to kind of automatically split test, and they'll start showing more the title and description that is actually generating you clicks. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. Don't go lazy when it comes to like creating your multiple titles and descriptions for your Google ads. So kind of moving on, I've kind of spoken everything about Google ads that I wanted to speak about in this particular live. If you do have any specific questions about Google ads or any other advertisement campaign, then do let me know in the chat. But I'm going to be kind of like moving on swiftly to Facebook ads, and I hope that kind of made sense to you guys. I'm seeing Rayman saying like, and yes, awesome. So I'm hoping that yeah, you guys are still with me and you're kind of following along here. So like I mentioned, Facebook ads is more of kind of like a interruption marketing when it comes to like it's not as intent based. So obviously people don't go onto Facebook or onto Instagram to buy your product, but they're going on there to post content or to look at content or to speak to their friends and so on and so forth. So you want to keep that in mind when running your Facebook ads. So you'll probably hear a lot of kind of marketing and e-commerce entrepreneurs say the same thing about Facebook ads, which is that you want to make sure first and foremost that you have the Facebook pixel installed on your website. So I'm doing my best to kind of get out as many tutorials as possible, because I know some of you guys are using like different platforms. So I've got a tutorial on how to include the Facebook pixel on your Shopify website, on your Squarespace website, and I'm going to get round to the other ones as well. But even if you haven't seen my videos, there's tutorials on Google as well that show you how to install the Facebook pixel on your particular website. So make sure that is the first thing you do when you set up your Facebook ads campaigns. Now, the reason why that's so important is because with that pixel, you can then identify what people are doing when they visit your website after clicking on your Facebook ads. So you can determine how effective your Facebook ads are for you. And you can kind of see where you need to make changes. You can see where you need to make tweaks. And you can't see that if you don't have the Facebook ads pixel installed. Also, my second tip kind of links in with my first tip, because my second tip is to run a conversion campaign. So once you set up your Facebook ad, or you go to Facebook, you go to create, and you go to create an ad, one of the first things it asks you to do is to select a campaign objective, and you want to select one of the campaign objectives that's under conversions. So it can be a conversion ad, it can be someone coming to your store and making a purchase, but basically Facebook will not be able to calculate a conversion for you if you don't have the Facebook pixel correctly installed on your website. So if you think you've installed it, but you're not 100% sure, then you can go to Chrome. And if you go to Google when you're on Chrome and type in the Facebook Pixel Helper, then that is a free Chrome extension tool. And that will basically tell you whether or not your Facebook pixel has been installed correctly on your site. So if you're not sure if the pixel has been installed properly, then you can utilize that and it will kind of show you. So Wahid is saying Facebook ads, it's okay for selling items. Yeah, Facebook ads is okay for selling items. Again, you don't want to direct Facebook ads to your eBay or Amazon store. You want to make sure you're directing it to a website that you own: WooCommerce, Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, whatever platforms, BigCommerce, whatever it is. But make sure you're sending the traffic to a page that you own. Wahid is saying, is it okay, Facebook Market or Facebook Business, which is good, please? To be fair with you, it really depends on the product that you're selling. But you can run ads from your personal business, your personal Facebook page as well. So it doesn't really matter too much with regards to running ads, which platform you use. John, great to have you on the live, John. John is saying, hey, Sam, I have installed it, checked in the Chrome extension. Can you track what happens with Facebook Booster? So that's a thing about Booster. So I did speak about that kind of earlier on in this live. I highly discourage you from boosting a post because you don't get all of those juicy analytics with regards to boosting a post, because there's steps involved with kind of tracking conversions. So you don't get all of those analytics in terms of, what is converting well for you with regards to boosting a post. You need to go into the Facebook Ads Manager. Like I said, the campaign objective needs to be one of the conversion campaign objectives. Normally that is just a conversion objective. So it's either a lead or it's a purchase that most of my clients look for. But you can actually do a store as well. If you have multiple products that you're selling on your website, you can do store and upload a feed of your products to Facebook. Again, I'm gonna be having tutorials on how to do all of this stuff. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you don't miss that. But again, for those of you who do join me live here, hopefully the information that I share with you will help you more so when those videos go live on the channel, because you already have an understanding of what this stuff is all about. So yeah, choose a conversion campaign objective. And then once you've done that, you want to actually select what a conversion is on your website. So you can go into Facebook, and you need to decide what a conversion is. So whatever your success page is, you need to figure out what your success page is on your website. So if you're selling a product, then you might need to do a dummy purchase on your website. So you might need to actually go to your website, give yourself a 100% discount, and go through the process of buying the product that you're advertising on Facebook. And once you've successfully bought, the first page that it takes you to is your success page, where it's either going to tell you how to buy your product, or it's going to give you some information of, when your product is likely to arrive. If it's lead generation that you're doing, when someone enters their name and email address or their details, what page do they go to directly after putting those details onto your website? What's the success page? You want to copy that page and paste it into Facebook Manager in the conversions section and add that as this is the page that someone lands on if they decide to purchase. I've done videos on this before, so if you, after this live, go through some of my Facebook ads tutorials. For those of you who might be members, Day Tips members, on my website as well, you can go through some of my Facebook ads courses, and I kind of take you through step by step how to do all of this. But you know, if all else fails, you can Google it, how to add conversion tracking to your Facebook ads account. If you Google that, then it should show you how to do it. It should point you in the right direction as well. But when you're actually setting up your Facebook campaign, and you've chosen the conversion metric, the conversion campaign objective, then when you're setting up your conversion, your actual ad, you'll get to a stage where it says, hey, you know, what is the conversions, or what conversion are we tracking here? And then you can select one of the conversions that you've created earlier on. And so Facebook will know, okay, when someone lands on this particular page, that means they have become a lead, or that means they have purchased the product. And then those are the analytics, John, that will show up in your Facebook ads manager. And just as a side note as well, if you are planning on running Facebook ads, I highly recommend downloading the Facebook ads app. It's really useful and really helpful, and it helps you to kind of like just see all of your data in a way that just makes a lot of common sense. And in a lot of ways, I find it easier than actually logging into the Facebook ads manager sometimes, because you can literally wake up in the morning, check your phone, check your analytics, check how much you've spent, check how many clicks you've got, check how many conversions you've got. And you can, if you're running a split test as well, you can see what ad campaign is actually generating you results. Quickly pause the campaigns that are not generating you results, increase your budget. You can do all of that in 5 minutes from the app, laying in bed in the morning. So that's a really good tip there. John is saying, I selected it for the thank you page, shows the conversion, question mark, question mark. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there, John. What did you select for the thank you page? Is that, did you put the thank you page within the conversions section of Facebook ads? You have to add a little bit more context there for me so I can answer that question a little bit better. So when it comes to Facebook ads, here's where it really kind of gets juicy, and that's with audiences. So I remember the first time I ever ran a Facebook ad, and I spent a hell of a long time in the audiences section. So if any of you guys ran Facebook ads back in the day, you probably would know what I mean. But you would select, and you can do it now still as well. You can select, you know, what geographic location you want to target. You can select what age range of people you want to target. You can also select, you know, what gender you want to target as well. And you can get really kind of granular as well in terms of like interests. What interests do people have? And to some degree that can be okay, but you have to remember that when you're running ads to people who don't know you, that's known as like cold traffic. That's known as, you know, the cold traffic is very difficult to convert into customers and into sales for you. So it's better to try and run run warmer traffic campaigns. So the way in which you can do that is you can actually select or create your own audiences within Facebook ads manager. And here again is why you want to use Facebook ads manager as opposed to just boosting a post. So you can create your own audience within Facebook, and this can be an audience of your Facebook page. If you've got a Facebook page, you know, with a couple of thousand people on there, then you can run ads to these people. You can run ads to your current email list. I speak all of the time about why it's so important to have an email list, and you can target people on your email list. So if people are not opening your emails, you're not getting the open rate you would like, you're not getting the click-through rate you would like, some of your emails are ending up in the spam folder, there's still a way to actually get the attention of those on your email list by running ads against your email list on Facebook. All you have to do is upload that list to Facebook. You can export it from whatever platform you're using, upload it to Facebook. Facebook will show your ads to people who are on your email list. Also, you can have your pixel on your website as a retargeting list. So once you install your Facebook pixel on your site and you start getting data and you start getting people coming to your site, they don't have to be coming from Facebook. They can be coming from Google, from YouTube, from different social media platforms, from Google ads, from wherever they're coming from. But you can actually retarget these people. So you can actually choose that kind of pixel retargeting list and retarget your past visitors. So when, for example, you go to a website and you don't make a purchase, and all of a sudden you're seeing this website's adverts all over the place, that means you've been pixel retargeted. And the reason why the big companies are doing this is because it's effective, because it's warmer traffic and that converts a lot higher. So that's an audience that you might want to run ads against as well. And also those of you who have a following on Instagram, if you've got a couple of thousand followers or more on Instagram, then you can actually select Instagram as a targeting option as well for your Facebook ads. And that combination of installing the Facebook pixel, making sure that you're running conversion ads and running traffic to a custom audience of people who are already familiar with you, either past website visitors, email list subscribers, Facebook page or group people that you have, or Instagram followers. That combination, when you're running a Facebook ad, I have seen converts extremely well for most people who I work with and for the adverts that I run as well. So that's something that you guys want to kind of keep in mind. And another thing that I kind of missed off with conversion ads is that Facebook will optimize your campaign to generate conversions if you select a conversion objective. So that's why you want to make sure you select a conversion objective. If you select a traffic objective, you just want to drive traffic to your site, then Facebook will only optimize your website to generate traffic, and you might not generate as much sales as you like. So that's something to kind of like keep in mind as well. So let's have a quick look at John Griffin is saying, sorry, Sam, yes, I selected the thank you page as the item to report back to Facebook. So let me read that again. Yes, I selected the thank you page as the item to report back to Facebook as the sale is complete. So yeah, so if it is thank you, so it would be the actual URL, and I want to go through this in like a video on YouTube. But when you are kind of like telling Facebook what a conversion is, you can select one of two options. There's an exact or contains option. So if it's just lead generation that you're doing, then normally you can actually give Facebook the exact URL of where someone will go to after they've filled out a form or become a lead for your business. It's normally the same URL for every single person. If you are an e-commerce business and you're trying to drive visitors to your e-commerce website to make a purchase, when they do make a successful purchase, your success page might be slightly different. So it might be similar. So everyone lands on a similar page, but the ending might have loads of numbers attached to it. And those numbers are associated to whoever it was that kind of bought that product. So every person will have a different number. So your as a result, the landing page will be different. So you want to, for e-commerce businesses, you want to select URL contains and then put the version of the URL that every conversion will contain, and then the numbers after it you don't have to include. So again, it might sound a little bit confusing here, but it won't sound confusing when I do it as a tutorial. Maybe you've already seen kind of some of my tutorials already, and you might already know what I'm on about. But yeah, I'm happy to kind of like take any questions at this stage. I'm going to briefly dive into influencer marketing and the potentials for that, and kind of touch upon as well how to know what advertisement platform you should be going into. But whilst I kind of like go into that as well. If you have any questions about paid ads, if you've tried Google ads or you've tried Facebook ads or you've tried influencer marketing and it hasn't worked, or you're doing it at the moment and you want some tips, then this is a great time to ask. So with regards to influencer marketing, let me just explain what it is a little bit. Most of you guys will probably already know what it is, but you can actually pay influencers, so people who have a niche following on social media. They might have a big following on YouTube, or a big following on Instagram, or a big following on Facebook, or a Facebook group or whatever. You can actually reach out to these individuals who run these accounts. So let's say, for example, you have a fashion brand and you're coming out with a new line of products. There might be an Instagram, fashion blogger, and that person might have 15 to 20,000 followers or whatnot. You might reach out to that person and say, hey, look, how much would you charge me to promote my new line of products to your followers in your story or as a new post? And they might email you or message you back with a specific price. And that can be a great way to actually drive sales back to your website as well. So that's something to consider. Now, when thinking about doing influencer marketing, you want to think about how relevant is this person's audience to the products that you are selling. So just because someone has a big audience doesn't necessarily mean that their audience is going to be interested in the products that you are selling, the products that you have on offer. So you really want to think about, does this influencer talk about things that your target customer is going to be interested in? And I say it all of the time on this YouTube channel, and I'll continue to say it. The better you know your customer, the easier it is to sell to them. So one of the things you want to know is, what type of influencers would your target customers be watching online? What YouTube channels, what Instagram pages are they following? For those of you who've been through some of my marketing courses on my website, or for those of you who've read the formula, which is beside me, you can actually get the formula by going to daytips.com/the formula. I speak in all of my programs and ebooks and stuff like that about the importance of understanding your customer. And the better you understand your customer, the easier it is for you to pick an influencer who has the attention of your target customer, and that will help you to generate sales back to your website. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. There are platforms as well, and I speak about most of them in the formula as well. So I know I'm kind of plugging the formula here, but it's genuinely a really good resource for you guys. Make sure you go to my website and download that, because it's, you're not only are you going to be added to my weekly newsletter, but also I speak about influencer marketing and actually reference a few platforms as well, whereby influencers, they basically are advertising themselves and they're saying, hey, I've got 10,000 Instagram followers. You can advertise with me, basically, in a nutshell. And those platforms obviously are easier to actually engage with influencers, because it kind of cuts out the whole you having to cold message or cold email these influencers, and some of them might not respond to you. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier. So I think we've got one more message. I'm looking at Pinterest, Sam, for my online shop. Is it worth the effort? I'm seeing a lot of people having really great success on Pinterest. And I work with a diverse client group. I'm seeing loads of people having kind of loads of success with Pinterest, and with platforms like Etsy as well. So yeah, definitely look into it. I would say I always recommend with people have one paid traffic source and one free traffic source, normally, as a rule of thumb. But I'm kind of changing my mind on that now slightly, because Google ads have been working really well for a lot of my clients, and as well as Facebook ads. So if you can run them both together, then that will be great. And you might see some really great results there. I encourage you guys as well to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @daytips. That's DEYTIPS, where I'm putting out a bunch of valuable pieces of content there as well, as it pertains to marketing your product or service online more effectively. So if you want to get some more tips and insights as well in a more of a kind of a bite-sized chunk, then make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'm also going to be doing some lives there too. So if you enjoyed this live and you also want to catch my other lives, then make sure you're following me here on YouTube and subscribe, but also follow me at Day Tips on Instagram as well, so you don't miss when I go live there too. And feel free as well to send me a message if you have any questions after watching this live. I know some of you are watching it live with me now, and others of you will be watching it after the fact. But either way, it's been a pleasure speaking to you about paid traffic. Hopefully this live has helped you in some way. I know it's a big topic, and I'm definitely going to be breaking it down in smaller bite-sized videos and smaller chunks as well. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss that. But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you guys on. And until next time, I'll see you soon.